Hello, this is Bello Sage and welcome to this tutorial. Here we are going to be setting up our Express application, but before we do that, I would love to also show you how to install softwares or packages using Brew for macOS or Chocolatey for Windows. But first of all, I'm going to show you how to install software using Brew. There are two approaches anyway. The first approach is a traditional way to install software by going to the official website. But the second approach is the one we are going to adopt in this tutorial because it's way much easier to manage packages because Brew is going to manage the package for us. So either we are going to install it, uninstall, or upgrade a particular package or update Brew itself. It's way much easier. So the first approach, you can actually go to the Visual Studio Code website to install it if you want to. So depending on your operating system, you'll be seeing something like download for example, Windows or Linux or whatever. So I'm not going to download it yet because I want to use the second approach. You can actually read through if you want, but I'm actually going to close the tab and open my terminal. Now I'm going to search for Visual Studio Code to check if it actually exists on Brew. You don't have to type the entire name of the package, so I'm just going to type brew search visual. Now it's showing this error because I don't have Brew installed, or you do brew -- version or brew-v. Alright, so next approach is to install Brew. So for that, I'm going to go to brew.sh and I'm going to just copy the string here and open my terminal and paste this and press enter. Put in your system password. Press enter. By the way, I have a tutorial that teaches how to use Brew. So Brew is a very important package. If you want to check it out, it's in the description. So now it's telling us to actually run this command in our terminal. So I'm just going to paste this and start using Brew. Enter, and yeah, there you have it. Clear. Or if you do code and try and run this to see. Oh, we don't have Visual Studio Code, so I need to install Visual Studio Code as well. So I'm going to do brew search visual. So we've run this command before, so I'm just going to just brew install --cask. I'm using the cask flag because it's a software, it's not a command line too. So press enter, and that is going to take a couple of minutes to install. Also, we can also install the Arc browser. Currently we don't have the Arc browser, so we are going to install that as well. My default browser is Safari, but I'm still going to use Arc because I prefer it in development. So I'm going to do brew install. You can search for it first if you want to, but since I know it already exists on Brew, so I'm just going to just install it directly here. Or the first approach, you can just install it from the official website of Arc. So alright, so we have Visual Studio Code, we have Arc. So as you can see, we have Visual Studio Code, we have Arc. Good. So now we can open the Arc browser if you want to and try and sign up if you don't have an account, or sign in if you already have an account. I know that this approach of installing package only works because I've not installed it using any other approach, or maybe install it manually on my browser or installing it via a different package manager. Alright, so I'm just going to click on this, and I'm going to, you can sign up if you want to, but I already have an account, so I'm going to sign in. There you have it. So now we have Arc, we have Visual Studio Code. Visual Studio Code. I'm going to expand this, and yeah, we have Copilot in Visual Studio Code. Very nice feature. So I'm going to actually make a directory. So I'm going to seed it into a document. Then I'm going to make a directory. I'm going to call it, I'm call it Express app. I'll seed it into Express app. Clear, and I'm going to open Visual Studio Code from here. If this command doesn't work for you, then what you can do is to just do Control Shift P. Yeah, Control Shift P or Shift Command P if you're on macOS, and just search for shell, then click on shell command install code. So yeah, good. So now I'm going to add, or better still, I'm going to add a config folder here, /mac os /brewfile, enter. So I'm going to my Safari, and I'm going to search for a particular repository. So I'm going to github.com /text space /express project. So here it is. So I'm going to come over here, and I'm going to copy this, copy all of this, go back to my Visual Studio Code and paste it right here. So this, instead of actually installing individual packages like brew install, for example, let's install one more package. Let's say brew install git. If you are installing git like this, you don't need to add the cask. In fact, it's wrong to add cask because we are only interested in installing the command line 2, which is git. So you can either do this without a formula flag, or just leave it like this and install. But we just want to install everything at once because it's going to take a lot of time to install all of this. So we are going to just automate the installation process. So there's a command for that. And also for Windows as well, they will have a similar approach. So just hold up for that. I'm going to show you. So let me switch brew. But I want to actually include another package, which is Biome, which is an alternative to using ESLint and Prettier. So I'm going to copy the extension ID and paste it here. It is actually good to have such file, especially when you're working with team, especially when you want to actually make sure that the teams actually uses the same dependencies or packages. So basically, if you are installing a CLI tool, you use this brew. Yeah, if you are installing a software, you use cask, and if a dependency or an extension, you use vscode here. and make sure that the file name is Brewfile. So now I can say brew bundle. Then I'm going to go to the path. I'm going to actually use the file flag, then say equals to. So the path is config / macOS / Brewfile, and it's going to install everything. And if you don't want to actually include a particular package or dependency, you can comment it out or remove it. So I'm just going to comment this out to show as an example. And also this is going to store born. If you don't want born, you can comment it out as well. And I have arc already, so I can comment it out. I know that if you've installed it via a different package, or if you install it manually, Brew will not install it for you. So Brew is only going to install packages that does not exist, uninstall a package if it was initially installed via Brew. So we have vscode, you can comment it out, but Brew is smart enough to know if it's already installed or not. So I'm just going to comment it out. So, but yeah, there you have it. Alright, so the installation is done. As you can see, it actually skips some installations that we've installed before, like Git, Arc, Visual Studio Code. Now you'll notice that we also have Node installed already, even if we didn't include it in the brew file. That's because when we installed these packages, right, Brew installed Node with it because the packages uses Node internally, so it installed Node for us. But what I want to do, I don't want to install Node, so I'm going to uninstall it because I'm going to be using a version manager, a Node version manager, NVM. So I'm going to just uninstall it, uninstall Node, brew uninstall Node, or brew remove Node, whichever command you want. Okay, so I'm going to firstly uninstall it. So now I'm going to install NVM, but I'm not going to be using Brew to install NVM. I'm going to the GitHub repository. So let me just search for it to even see if it exists in Brew. No, it doesn't. So I'm going to just go to GitHub repository. I'll just say git sub NVM. I'm going to scroll down. You can check out the command anyway to see. So you can use either this. I'm going to just use car to install it. So paste, enter. Good. So now it says you should export this in your file. Alright, so what I'll do next is to check if I have this code exported or created already in my .zip profile. Yours might be different anyway. Yours might be .zshrc or .bashrc or .bash profile, something like that. But I'm going to open it using VS Code and check. Open. Yeah, it's exported. So NVM have exported it for us automatically, so we don't need to do any configuration. Alright, so now we can check if NVM is installed. As you can see, it's already installed. If you don't see the version. Probably you need to close your terminal or just close Windows and check back again and see if you can see the version. So nvm-v, nvm-v. Good. So you can actually check the list of Node versions that have been installed. Currently I don't have any, so I'm going to install one now. So you know how to use a Node version, you need to install it first. You can do NVM alliance also if you have a custom alliance you've made already. So I'm going to install the long-term support. You can actually install based on a particular version, so for example 16.0.0 or just put 16.0. you don't have to include the V there. So I'm going to just include the latest long-term stable release. Alright, so let's run that command again. So there you can see, now you can see a lot of output here. Good. So now if you check node-v, you see the version of Node, and you can install whatever versions you want. You can install, for example, let's try and install this version of Node. So you can say node install this and enter. Sorry, not node, nvm install. So you can see nvm ls. So you can see now, and you can switch to a different version of Node. So you can check the version of Node that you're using. So this is it. So I can switch to the latest one. So if I do nvm use so now you can see it has switched to this version here. Or if you have installed Node, so if you've gone to the official Node website to install it, so you can use nvm use system. This is going to throw an error because we didn't install Node directly from the Node official website. So I'm going to uninstall this version of Node. So I'm going to say nvm uninstall this. Good. Now if you check nvm ls, you can see just one Node version.